Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of Ask Coach Marie. I'm Marie O'Neill, founder of Padma Life Coaching, and your host on this series. This is the place where you ask a question, and I give my unique opinion as a life renewal coach, astrologer, and past life regression facilitator. Please know that I'm not a therapist, and I will never tell you what you must do. Each week on Friday, a new video is released with me answering 2 questions from the viewers. In addition to those 2 questions, I talk about various other life renewal topics. Before we get going with the questions for this week, I have a couple of announcements. First, I have started a Substack page. I'm going to put the link to the Substack page in the description section below so that you can sign up for the page if you'd like. The purpose of the Substack page is to do a deep dive on various topics that I talk about here on the Ask Coach Marie episodes. I'll write an article delving deep into one of those topics every 2 weeks. So every other week, there will be a new article on the Substack page. If you're interested in learning more about the topic of discussion, please go to the Substack page and sign up. The other announcement has to do with the virtual healing retreat that is coming up, which is happening August 19th and 20th of 2025. That's a couple of months from the recording of this particular episode. It is on finding your flow. This is about nature and connecting with nature, connecting with your spirit animal, because everyone has one. Finding out what that spirit animal is, finding out how to work with nature and get answers from nature, because we are all a part of nature. There will be 3 presenters on this particular event. It is happening over a 2-day period, 3 hours each day from 1 to 4 p.m. Pacific time. It will be hosted through Eventbrite. I'll put the link, of course, in the description below so that all you need to do is click on the link. There will be 5 presentations and a panel discussion for you. I hope you join us for this wonderful event. All right, let's go ahead and get started with the questions for this week. Kevin writes, I tend to procrastinate on important tasks like updating my resume or starting a home organization project until the very last minute, which causes me a lot of stress. I know what I need to do, but I just can't seem to make myself start. What are some effective strategies to overcome chronic procrastination? That's a really good question, Kevin, and thank you for sending it in. It is an issue for a lot of people. This is an issue of emotional procrastination, and it's something that probably started years ago for you. There's a couple of things that you can do. One is enlisting the help of someone who is either in the household with you or a friend or someone who can help you overcome the procrastination. What you would do is tell somebody that you're going to start a project. A lot of times the ability to start a project is enhanced when you have told someone else that you're going to do it, because you don't want to let that person down. That's one thing you can do. Another thing that you can do is start small. You don't need to plan on completing the entire project when you start it. Just start with one doable step. That will also help. Sometimes having your favorite music playing or listening to a book on tape, something that you enjoy doing when you're going to be working on a project, especially a project that you don't want to work on. It's tricking the mind into working on a project by having it focus on something that you do enjoy. Sometimes it works to have someone come over to the house with you and sit there while you're working on a project, so that you want to work on the project because you don't want to waste the other person's time. These are just a few tricks that you can use to help you get over the hump with working on projects. The other thing is, if you can, you want to figure out when this all started for you. When did you find that you started to procrastinate? Because this is all energy, and you create what I call a groove in your emotional body, meaning you create a rhythm that you're going to be utilizing, and you want to disrupt that rhythm, and it's a rhythm of procrastination. So that's something that you want to figure out when you first started procrastinating, and figure out why and work through that. So I hope that helps you, and thank you very much for sending the question in. All right, our topic for today is going to be understanding and overcoming procrastination. It is a huge topic, and I do believe that a lot of people procrastinate periodically with certain things. There's some things in our lives that we don't procrastinate on, and yet there are others that we really do take our time in doing, and sometimes we never even start projects. Where does this come from, procrastination? A lot of times it has to do with the fear of failure, or the fear of success, the fear of not letting someone down, not letting yourself down. It's an emotional issue a lot of times. And you have to get past that emotional issue. When you want to get past it, the best thing is to actually just jump in. The energy that we expend procrastinating is energy. And we can utilize that energy to actually accomplish a goal. Think about the emotional toll that you're taking on yourself when you don't accomplish something that you want to accomplish. As I said when I was talking to Kevin, what we do is set up a rhythm. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy that we're going to procrastinate if we start procrastinating and then we end up continuing it. One of the things that you can do is have what I call a 5-minute rule. This is where you tell yourself you're going to work on a project or whatever it is you're procrastinating on for just 5 minutes. And then you're going to give yourself permission to stop if you want to, and be okay with that. This is going to help retrain the mind and retrain the emotions to not procrastinate. It may take some time to get over the hump with this, but it does work. Another thing that you want to do with procrastination is look at where it started, how it started. When did you first notice or remember that you procrastinated on something? What was going on with you emotionally at that time? So these are just a few ways that you can work with procrastination. And also you can get yourself a coach to help you with that. Okay, let's get going with the next question for the day. Our next question comes from Chloe. Chloe writes, "There's a dream job I'd love to apply for, but the thought of actually going through the process, updating my portfolio, networking, interviewing, feels so overwhelming and scary that I keep putting it off, even though I know it could be a great opportunity. How do I tackle this fear of the unknown and the big effort involved? Thank you for sending this question in, Chloe. It's a very good question. When you have a project or something that is this large, you really do need to break it down into small bite-sized pieces. If you need to update your resume, you want to make a list, of course, of everything that you need to do and break each component down into small, doable steps. Enlist the help of a friend or professional to walk you through getting the project done to completion. These are just a couple of things that you can do. Another thing that you want to do is look at the fear, the unknown that you have. What is that? Because where does that come from? Is it realistic? You're asking yourself these questions. Is the fear of the unknown realistic? Do you have a fear of failure? Do you have a fear of the outcome? Ask yourself the question of what happens if you succeed? What if you actually succeed? Reframe the fear of the unknown with other phrases such as what happens if you succeed? What if you succeed? What if you get to the other side of the unknown and you are successful? These are just some of the things that you can do. But I also, as I said, I do recommend that you enlist the help of a professional to make sure that your resume is updated. To help you do that, to help you update your profile on LinkedIn or wherever it is you are going to put your profile, enlist the help of other people who are able to help you with this. They're going to help give you the energy and the drive and the motivation to actually move through this process. All right, we have come to the end of this week's Ask Coach Marie. I want to thank you for spending your time with me. If you'd like to learn more about the services I offer, please go to my website, padmalifecoaching.com. On there, I list the astrology, life coaching, and past life regression services, along with how I work with people using these tools. If you would like to learn more about me and how I became a life coach and how I work through some of the emotional issues and traumas that I went through, check out my book, And the Lotus Opened, a Memoir. You can find that book anywhere online books are sold, such as Amazon, 8 Books, Barnes & Noble. As I said at the beginning, check out my Substack page. I will put a link below. This is where I do a deep dive into the topics here on the Ask Coach Marie series. If you'd like to send me a question, please send it to padmacoach@icloud.com. That's padmacoach@icloud.com. I'll see you back here next week. Bye-bye.